The story of Ballerina begins with a little girl playing happily with her beautiful doll, and just then her father, Javier, arrives and she joyfully dances with him. For Javier, his daughter Eva is his whole world. His wife had died earlier and she had been part of a dangerous cult. Javier himself had once been part of a secret organization called Ruska Roma, but because he broke their strict rules, he had escaped and gone far away to live a quiet life with his daughter. But even after going so far, the cult didn't stop chasing him. One day, when he notices strange people around his house, he quickly hides Eva and prepares to fight. A fierce battle happens where we see a man named Chancellor, a loyal cult member who believes all traitors must die. Javier manages to escape with Eva, plants a bomb in his own house, but sadly gets shot and dies a little farther down the road. Now, Eva is all alone. In the next scene, she is sitting at a train station when Winston appears, a man we had seen in earlier John Wick stories who supported Javier. Winston wants to take Eva to a safe place, so he brings her to a secret organization called the Ruska Roma, run by a powerful woman known as the Director. The Director tells Eva that her father was once a part of this place too, and here she will become stronger than ever. Eva agrees to stay because she wants revenge for her father's death. She thanks Winston and becomes friends with a girl named Nogi, who tells her that her father was once called Killer of Killers, someone who is bad for the bad people and good for the good ones. She explains it with a simple example. Just like a coin has two sides, everyone has both good and bad inside them, and it's up to you which side you choose. Eva begins hard training, learning ballet, standing on her toes, fighting and shooting. Her toes bleed, but she doesn't give up. She also has a friend named Tata, who also wants to become a ballerina. Day by day, Eva faces more difficult training, learning how to shoot at targets and fight like a warrior. Finally, when she feels she is ready, she tells the Director, who gives her one final test. Eva is taken to a secret room where another dangerous girl waits. Between them lies an open gun. Whoever grabs it and shoots first will win. The girl tries to distract Eva with clever talk, but Eva, who has trained hard and faced her fears, quickly assembles the gun and shoots without hesitation. She passes the final test and becomes a true ballerina, a strong and fearless one. At the end, we see John Wick himself arriving at the place now known as the King of that world. The story takes a thrilling turn when we see that Eve, while inside the secret organization, notices a mysterious old man and starts following him. She stops him and says, "You are Baba Yaga. Tell me how I can escape from here." The man, who is actually John, speaks in hints and tells her that she has already made choices and soon the door will close forever. When Eve returns, she finds that her friend Tatiana is missing. Eve is then given her first target by Nochi, along with a triple-barrel gun for protection. Her mission is to protect a girl named Tetla Park, whose father has strong ties with the organization and doesn't want any harm to come to his daughter. Eve goes to meet Tetla at -11 point. When she reaches, some goons appear, but Eve cleverly saves Tetla and tells her she is safe now and they are leaving. After completing this mission, Eve is officially marked as an assassin, and a big tattoo is carved on her back. She starts doing more missions for Roma Ruska and grows stronger with each step. On her next mission, she sends the location to her Director, kills the enemies, takes their weapons, and leaves. She is shown to be very confident and bold. But soon, while sitting in a car, she is attacked by a man who fights her fiercely. Eve kills him, but she is shocked to see a cross symbol on his hand. It brings back a childhood memory where she saw the same mark. To confirm it, she cuts off the man's hand and takes it to Roma Ruska's Director, asking about the mark. The Director tells her to stay away, but Eve insists this group killed her father, and she wants revenge. When the Director tells her again to leave the matter, Eve angrily says, "Okay, mama." Now she is a full assassin and won't stop until she finds the truth. The story moves to the famous Continental Hotel, which fans of John Wick already know. There, Eve meets the receptionist Sermon and goes to meet Winston, who is happy to see her. He reminds her that she wouldn't be this strong if he hadn't brought her into Roma Ruska. Eve knows only Winston has the answers she's looking for. He warns her not to get involved with the people behind the symbol, saying they are dangerous. But Eve says she knows all the rules and won't stop. She gives Winston a coin, which means he has to help her, just like in the John Wick world. Winston accepts the coin and tells her the man with the cross mark is staying in their hotel right now. He takes her to the information store where they find out the man's name is Daniel, and there's a $2 million bounty on him. He is staying in room 315. Winston gives her all the details, even noting that Daniel hasn't made any calls but has ordered lots of food through room service, especially ice cream. Winston says he really likes sweets and hands her a hard copy of Daniel's profile. Just then, Kerman enters and says the director is on the call. Winston smiles at Eve and she heads toward the hotel where Daniel is staying. She books room number 34, and while sitting in the lobby, a suspicious girl watches her. That girl sends a signal to a sniper on the roof who sees that Eve is carefully moving toward Daniel's room. As Eve entered the secret room of the hotel, she saw a little scared girl named Ella. The girl, with teary eyes, looked at Eve and asked in a trembling voice, "You won't hurt my father, will you?" Just then a loud gunshot echoed through the room. It was Daniel. Eve quickly told him she didn't come to kill anyone. She only wanted to find the man who murdered her father, the one with a cross mark on his hand. Daniel warned her that she was taking a big risk. Meanwhile, the girl outside secretly called the research center and activated account 8615. Now the movie began to take a serious turn. The bounty on Daniel's head, which was already $2 million, was doubled. The news spread like wildfire. Winston, watching everything unfold, gave a mysterious smile. Daniel told Eve that she had created a big problem, not just for herself, but for him too. The people behind this wanted her to break the rules. Soon the hotel was surrounded from all sides. Daniel was very worried about his daughter Ella. Their bond was just like Xavier and Eve's. Suddenly the door burst open and a big fight broke out. But somehow, Daniel, Eve, and Ella managed to escape. Daniel asked Eve for help to protect his daughter. He told her, "You are like a Morara. Do you know what that means?" He encouraged Ella to be brave, but just then, the story took another shocking twist. A group attacked them again, and both Daniel and Eve were knocked down. The attackers kidnapped Ella. Somewhere else, a man on the phone asked about Eve. The girl on the other end replied, "We handed her over to the Continental Hotel's security. Their rules are strict, and breaking them brings serious consequences." Now a verification process started to find out who had broken the rules. Somehow, Eve escaped from the Continental, but the hotel owner told her to check out immediately. Then, Eve chose a new path. She went to a secret place, gave a coin, and said, "I'm going hunting." She showed a man a picture on her phone, a hand with a cross mark. She asked, "Can I buy something from here?" He led her to a beautiful room filled with all kinds of guns. This was the same weapon room we had seen in John Wick 3 when he was preparing for his final mission. Eve was introduced to each weapon one by one. The first was a 7 Harbeck gun. The second was a custom-made PTI gun. The man also showed her pictures of bullets, target ranges, and explained the speed and distance of each weapon. Just as he showed her the third gun, suddenly a group of gangsters attacked. A fierce fight broke out. The room was full of explosives, and Eve used them smartly to fight back. Her style was full of action, just like John Wick. Then a man who had come to take the weapons told her, "Whoever goes looking for them never comes back." But then he opened a map and pointed to a location in the mountains. Eve told a boy nearby, "I need a car." She packed some special things into the vehicle, and with strong determination in her eyes, she began a dangerous new journey. Now we see Eve reaching a mountain area, the same place she was told she would find the people responsible. She is now on a new mission. As she moves along the path, someone is watching her, and the director is quickly informed that Eve is heading toward them. The director warns her not to go, but Eve doesn't listen and ends the call. She arrives at a place where she finds an old toy, the same one we saw earlier in the movie, and looking at it she becomes sad, clearly missing someone special. Suddenly, in the rain, some enemy assassins arrive. Eve fights back with full force. One by one she defeats them, shooting a sniper, taking down a girl and boy attacker. Her action skills surprise everyone, and soon the message spreads that Eve has arrived. The fight becomes intense. Eve now reaches a hidden base. This is the same place where the girl following Daniel brought Ella. Here, many children are also kept as prisoners. Charles comes to Ella and tells her that her father broke all the rules, but Ella angrily refuses to believe him. Charles says her hatred will make her stronger. Meanwhile, another girl comes to Charles and tells him that Eve belongs to the Roma group, as they've seen the secret mark on her body. Eve is now trapped and surrounded by guards. Even though the director warned her, Eve has entered a dangerous place. But she doesn't care about danger. She wants to save the children and take revenge for her father. She tells Charles that she has nothing to do with the Roma group and no one knows where she is. But Charles says, "If you're here for the girl, you're making a big mistake. She's my granddaughter, my everything. My son kept her hidden from the world, but I don't want that. Our tribe doesn't allow outsiders." Eve tells him she's here because her father was killed by people from this tribe and Charles himself once came to take her away. When this truth comes out, Charles realizes Eve is also his granddaughter. Then Eve learns about her sister, Layla. Layla is the same mysterious girl Charles raised and told that her father, Xavier, had died. When Layla hears the truth, she attacks Eve, and they both chase each other. Eve still doesn't know the full truth. The sisters argue. Layla says Xavier wasn't just your father, he was mine too. Both of our fathers were killed. You were raised in peace, and I was raised in war. That day, when the Chancellor killed Xavier, he was trying to protect you. Layla says the foxes of Ruska taught her how to survive. But what did you learn? Why are your people kidnapping kids? To tell them that she doesn't care. She challenges Eve. If you're scared, sit down. But if you're really your father's daughter, stand up and fight. The story now turns very emotional and powerful. Charles sees both girls together and gives a cruel order to kill them both. He even wants Layla, the girl he raised, to be killed. He plants a bomb in the same house where Eve and Layla are hiding. The house explodes. Layla dies in Eve's arms. Her final words are, "I missed you, don't say anything," and she dies. Now Eve is burning with rage. First her father, now her sister, both gone. She kills every guard Charles sends, one by one. Then she calls Charles and challenges him. "If I don't kill you, then I'm not one of you." So now Charles makes his final move. He directly calls Roma and tells them that one of their members has acted against his group. He says, "Whether you sent her or not, we need your support now." Even though both groups normally don't interfere in each other's matters, Charles is furious that Eve broke this rule. He warns Roma to prepare for war, saying, "Just wait and see what I do next." The director tries to explain that Eve broke their policy and acted on her own, but Charles is not ready to listen. He wants revenge. Then we see that the director secretly makes a deal with Charles. Charles tells her, "By tonight, I don't want to hear Eve breathing." Nogi hears all this. She is very close to Eve and can't let her die, but the director tells her she chose this path herself. Like a coin with two sides, she picked one. Now the story gets even more intense. We finally see John Wick enter. He's an important character. We don't know if the director sent him to help Eve or not, but when Charles sees him, he becomes very happy. The final battle is about to begin. John Wick and Eve fight each other. With every move, John throws Eve to the ground and tells her to walk away. But Eve refuses. She begs, "Please, let me kill him." Maybe John feels pity for her, or maybe he wants to test her. So he gives her 30 minutes. If you can kill him within 30 minutes, do it. Otherwise, your time is up. Now the biggest fight begins. Eve reaches a place full of missiles. She uses them smartly and takes down many enemies. When Charles hears how many of his men have been killed, he orders to stop Eve, but she sets off a huge blast and wipes out everyone in her way. His own team tells him, "Leave this place, it's for your own good." But Charles refuses because of his pride. He says, "I won't leave just because I'm scared of death." Eve is now full of anger. She has lost her mother, her sister, and her father, all killed by Charles. She only has 30 minutes to take her revenge. Charles is taken into a car and now Eve faces a powerful man with a heavy weapon. He shoots fireballs at her, but Eve bravely fights back. Then suddenly, John Wick returns to help her. He supports Eve and gives her the strength to complete her mission. The movie is now at its final stage. Only one target remains: Charles. We see an exciting scene now. Charles is sitting in the car with Ella, the girl who was kidnapped and whom he wanted to use to complete his plan. Both Eve and Charles are face to face. As Eve raises her gun, suddenly John Wick fires his weapon. It looks like Eve shot Charles, but in truth, his aim never misses. Ella is saved, and now we see what happens next between the director and Eve. And we learn that our guess was right. John Wick was sent by the director herself. Now we see that John Wick calls the director and says it's done. The director thinks for a moment and replies, okay. Then finally, we see that Ella is rescued. Eve feels very happy and peaceful seeing her safe. Meanwhile, Daniel is in the hospital. When his daughter comes to see him, we see pure love on his face. He is filled with joy just by looking at her. As the movie moves toward the end, we see a meeting between Winston and Eve. He tells her that even though the snake is dead, its poison has already spread, and the world still won't leave her alone. But Eve is no longer afraid. She has become strong. She has become Ballerina. She's not the girl who runs from danger anymore. Just like John Wick, who faces every fight with courage and never gives up, Eve has become like him now. She has learned to stand tall through every pain and battle. Her fear is gone. Her mind is clear. She is determined. And as the movie...
Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed the explanation, please like, subscribe, and share to support the channel. See you in the next movie explanation. Stay awesome.